I know we skipped the Lord's Prayer, but these days I just feel like doing things differently. So, I'm in the flow. When it feels like, I'm going to do it. If it feels like I need to be where I felt we needed to meditate right after that. Wonderful video. So that's what I did. Can you all hang with the flow? Can you hang with me when I flow? All right. I thought I would mention it because otherwise I'd get an email that somebody would tell me that I forgot the Lord's Prayer. I love it. You're on it. That's good. I ain't bad. That's wonderful. Keep me on my toes. Turn to somebody and tell them I'm a radiating center of God's infinite love. I'm a radiating center of God's infinite love. Yes. That's who I am. That's who you are. A radiating center. Ooh, can you feel my vibes? Yeah. Yes, you got to feel the vibration. I love that video, even though it was hard to maybe hear all of it, but you can go on YouTube and listen to it. But I love it because I thought it was a powerful video. On Love Now, he says we can do all these things. We can do so many wonderful things. Yet love still beckons and calls us up higher. It still does. We can build skyscrapers, and we can fly to the moon, and we can transport images across oceans and across the sky, and we can build virtual realities. But we still have not found ways to love one another. We can do lots. He said, you can go to churches and temples, but there are living Buddhas and living Christ and living people with a divine expression right before us. We can do all of these things. But if we're going to change the world, friends, or better yet, if you're going to transform your life, which will then add to the changing of the world, then you, me, we need to learn the art of loving, because love is the most powerful force in the universe. It is. We know that. So I'm thinking, why has it been so difficult for humankind to harness it? It's the most powerful thing in the universe. We can practically figure out everything else. So why not love? Why not love? Well, I believe it's because, we're looking for it in all the wrong places. I believe it has a lot to do with the place from whence we live. In the name of progress, we've been encouraged and rewarded for living in our heads. We value and prize one's intellect and one's capacity to think and to reason and to discover and to uncover. Our society prizes that and values that and rewards that. And yet, we have forgotten the place of our hearts. I'm looking at some of the things in public school. They don't teach values anymore to children. They don't, did you have courses in ethics or courses in community civil work or citizenship or learning how to respect the other and to honor all of those things, because that costs too much money. And so we've left that out of our school systems and our training, and the reasoning is that, well, that belongs to the parents or whatever, but it belongs to all of us. Values and honoring and loving are things that somehow have fallen by the wayside, and we now let people know we will prize you for how smart you can be, how much critical thinking you can have, but we don't value what's in the heart and what's in the soul. Marianne Williamson wrote a wonderful book titled A Return to Love. It's a powerful book. But I love the title, A Return to Love, because I think that is exactly where we need to be right now in our evolutionary growth, in our journey, is we need to be experiencing a return to love. This is a time for us to remember love. It is a time in our unfoldment, it is a time in our growth as a species to begin once again living from our hearts. Turn to someone and tell them, get out of your head and into your heart. Get out of your head and into your heart. Get out of your head and into your heart. See, the head without the heart can lead to what? Destruction, alienation, and a disconnect from that which harmonizes and unifies life itself. And yes, the heart also needs the balance of wisdom. The heart needs the guidance of wisdom and light or awareness. But the wisdom that comes from the heart and the wisdom that comes from the head are two vastly different things. Wisdom that comes from the heart, from the head, rather, may be logical, it may make sense, but it also can be cold and calculating and produce a sense of separation or emptiness when it is applied to human relations, right? When we try to take the wisdom from the head and apply it to our interactions with another soul, sometimes things go awry. But wisdom that comes from the heart is a different thing, because that wisdom will always be warm, it'll always be unifying, it'll always be healing, it'll always produce a sense of wholeness and connectedness, a sense of fulfillment whenever it is dealing with human relations. And so we can't take the head, wisdom of the head, and try to apply it to really where the wisdom of heart needs to be. The heart is the strongest organ in the body. Although a lot of people think it's the brain. We cherish, again, brain power, right? Brain activity. Yet the heart is the strongest organ in the body. Because you can be brain dead and still be alive. But when that heart goes, what happens? You gone. That's it. The heart is the strongest organ. There's an institution that's noted, it's called HeartMath Institution, and that's an institution out in California that has devoted itself to studying the workings of the heart, not just its physical workings, but the vibrations of the heart. How does when we're in our heart or coming from the heart, how does that affect our relationships? How does that affect our physical body? How does that affect our thinking? Is there a change? And they're able to measure it scientifically. Or when we are coming from the heart and when we're in the heart, and the effect of the heart in physical, emotional, and outer experiences as well. And they say that the vibrations, the wave energy of the heart, the vibrations of the heart are strong enough to heal and to restore and to renew the body. It can heal, the vibrations of the heart can heal physical maladies in the body. So what this says is that when we train ourselves to come from the heart, or we train ourselves to think with the heart or think through the heart, as a man, as a woman thinketh where in his or her heart, so is he. When we can train ourselves to think from the heart and with the wisdom of the heart, or when we can dwell in the heart mind, because the heart has a mind of its own, just like the brain has a mind, but of the heart mind, if we think from the heart mind, then all of a sudden it says that we vibrate at the highest level that is possible for us to vibrate. And when we begin to vibrate at that highest level, we can also then, through those vibrations of the heart, we can entrain all the other organs of the body to raise itself up to the level of the heart's consciousness, to the level of the heart's sense of well-being, to the level of the heart's wisdom, the heart's guidance, to the healing energy. I love what Myrtle Fillmore used to say, you could praise a weak body into strength and healing. So when you get on that vibration, you begin to entrain all those other organs that are weak and tired or whatever. They move up to a high level, because the highest vibration is like a tuning fork or a pitchfork. And as a musician, you know how that works, right? You want to tune that key, you bang a little something, and that key then vibrates to that pitch, right? And so when we vibrate at a certain level, we will then draw everything up in us to that level that we are vibrating on. So this is a real powerful thing, because not only can you then begin to experience physical healing and well-being, but when you have trained yourself to begin to come from the heart, dwell in the heart, live in the heart, vibrate on this highest level within you, you also then begin to come into alignment spiritually with all that is of God. Here's the benefit, because God, as we well know, is what? Is love. That's the essence. God is love itself, the highest force that there is. And this energy, this force, this essence of God dwells within each of us. We don't have to go out and say, how can I get it? It dwells within each of us. And with this force, with this energy, with this vibration, we can transform not only our world, but our lives and our situations and our circumstances. We can transform everything, because nothing, no thing can withstand the power of love. Nothing. You want to move something out of your life? Love it. That's a quick way. Love it and release it. We say, bless it and release it. Love it and release it. But know this, it will not go until you love it. You want to leave a job you hate? Well, then love it. You can't leave it till you love it. That's the way that it works. You want to draw something into your life? Love it. That is the way, because love is like a magnet. It has a drawing power. You want to heal something in your life? Heal it by loving it. Your body's not acting, love it. Don't focus on, oh, I wish I was thinner and smoother and I wish this was. Love it. Just the way that it is, because love will and can heal everything and anything, and nothing can withstand the power, the transforming power of love. Now, I want you to know this, that love is not something that we have to try to give and receive. That's the romantic sense of love. Love is something that we release. Excuse me. It is something that we touch within ourselves, right? And once we tap it within ourselves, then it naturally and easily begins to express itself outward. And everything in its wake will be transformed, lifted higher, because that's what love does. The secret is, I'm going to tell you, you can't get any more love than you have right now. You will never be able to get any more love than you have right now. In fact, you can't get it out here. You have all the love that you need. Sometimes we say, well, if I could just get a little bit more love, maybe I'd be able to love so-and-so. If I could just, be open, if they could just love me a little, maybe I'll get a little bit more love in my life. You can't get any more love than you already have, because it is the essence of God. It is the essence of God within you, and it is full and it's complete. The only thing you need to do is release it. It's one of our 12 powers. It's like people say, well, if I had more faith. You can't get any more faith. Faith is already available to you and within you. You just need to what? Express it, release it. You're not going to get any more love. A Course in Miracles says this, and it's very powerful. It says, the love we desire is already within us. Your task is not to seek for love or seek love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. You hear that? You can't get any more. So what we need to do, the question is, we need to start looking at, but what are the barriers that I have built up in myself that are keeping love from me? What is it that is causing me to be afraid to love? What is it that I'm putting up in my own self that is blocking the releasing and the expressing of love? See, because when you can express it, you'll be it. When you express it, you'll have it. You don't get it. You let it. And so what is it that blocks us? And I can think of several things. Maybe it's the fear of rejection. Maybe, I don't love because I feel I'll be rejected. Or maybe it's feeling unworthy. Or maybe it's feeling like you're, insecure. Or maybe it's the fear of being taken advantage of. Or maybe it's the fear of being wrong. I don't want to be wrong. So, or maybe I don't want to look foolish. Or somehow or another, I don't think I'm lovable. It could be a number of things. Or one's inability to forgive. Or fear of getting hurt. See, all of those things, and I have experienced just about all of those things at some point in my life, and not nail one of them have ever served me well. Right? Where has any of that served you well? And that's because I was listening to the wrong voice. I was living and coming from the wrong place, living in and coming from the wrong place. Because even though most of those things that I just mentioned have an emotional ring to them, they basically are a sign that we are coming from the head. See, we are thinking about being rejected. Now, you haven't even been rejected, but you're thinking, I won't love because maybe I'll be rejected. We're thinking about that. We are thinking that others may be more worthy than us. We are thinking about these things. And so we're telling ourselves the story, right? The story as to why we can't love or why we aren't going to love or why we are void of love. We're listening to the voice in the head. And that voice would take you on a head trip, right? That voice, when it comes to trying to use the heart to have the experience of relations or love or being in harmony with one another, that voice will take you on a head trip. Because love is not an experience of the head, but of the heart. And that's where we have to learn to dwell. To dwell there as often as possible, because that is the secret place of the Most High God. See, the wisdom of the head is full of chatter. It's long-winded. It's full of logic and reason and analysis and questions, all of which is good and fine if you're working on solving problems. Not so much when you're trying to be in relationship to life, The logic, the reason, the analysis, we want to know, well, why? Tell me why you're doing so and so. It may not have a logical reason. See, the wisdom of the heart is short and sweet. It's to the point. It's clear. It's pure. There's a knowing, not a question. That's your symbol. When you want to know whether you're coming from the head or the heart, if you're coming from the head, you're going to be questioning and questioning and questioning and analyzing. But why and why and why and why? The heart knows. It knows. You're going to get a clear, short, precise answer, a knowing. And then when you start to question that knowing, where did you jump to? The head, right? So we've got to keep an open heart, because to open up the heart is what allows that wisdom of the divine to come through and guide us and lead us. And it doesn't have to be logical. God don't have to be logical. The thing that you need can come to you in a number of ways. It doesn't have to follow a prescribed order. Sometimes we think we can't get it because it has to look a certain way. We don't know how your good will come to you. You don't know how God will work in your life. It may not work like you think it's going to work. But if you trust it, if you understand how to open to it, it will work and lead you to your highest good. So we want to practice things like, if we want to open the heart, that's what we need to do. Practice opening heart. We want to practice by dwelling with things like, or feeling joy. Joy is a good way to open up the heart and to expand the heart. So think, what brings you joy in your life? And if you haven't experienced joy lately, you need to find a way to experience some joy. What brings you joy? And then do that a lot. Do it, right? Do it often. You've got to allow yourself to experience and to feel gratitude, not just joy, but gratitude. What can you be thankful for? What are you praising for? What are you allowing yourself to be into that vibration of gratitude and thanksgiving and praise? Because all those things do is increase, expand. It opens the heart chakra. It opens up the vibration, right? So we should be spending, I tell you this before, at least 5 to 10 minutes every day feeling gratitude. Now, I'm not talking about thinking about gratitude and making a gratitude list, because that keeps you in your head. I'm talking about feeling gratitude. You must feel it. What do I feel grateful for? And then feel it. Don't think about it. Because remember, it's all vibration. Practice compassion. What acts of kindness can you do? Reach out to somebody that's in need. Reach out, touch them. Sit with somebody who would be blessed simply by your mere presence. Just go and sit with someone. Maybe they can't get out, but would welcome to have your presence in their midst. Compassion is living with the heart. It's living with heart, living with passion. And to do that, you have to feel the aliveness of life. You have to feel the energy of love. You have not think about love, but feel it. And when you begin to feel it, it moves from within. And when you are moved from within, you automatically will share. You automatically will give. You will express the goodness of the divine. You see, it's a divine impulse. When you are really in touch, there's an impulse to give. You can't help yourself. You'd have to find, when you're in touch and that impulse moves, you're going to have to find somebody to share, to give, to express. Everything that is love is transformed into the beauty and the essence and the goodness of God. And God seeks to express itself all the time through you, in you, and as you. And because love is more of an energy as opposed to a thing we acquire, the more you can feel that vibration, the more that vibration will begin to vibrate in you, and it will then do its healing, lifting, joining, harmonizing, transforming work in you. You want to release it. That's all you need to do. You want to release it. Release what is within you. You don't have to tell it how to heal and who to do. It knows. Love knows what to do. Because if you think, well, I've got to try to love you. See? Because more than likely, when you try to love somebody, some resistance is going to come up, right? Well, the Bible says I should love. Let me try to love this person. Lord, help me to love this person. Because when you try to love someone, that's a head trip. And the head will give you reasons and justifications as to why you may or may not be able to love them. Well, see, I can't love them because look what they did to me. You're going to come, the head's going to give you reasons. And, because that's what it does. It's a game. The head produces the game. It's a reasoning game. And if I can't find reasons to love you, well, then you're going to be out of luck. Right? Because I don't have no good reason to love you. So you're out of luck. And we're going to feel good about that. But the heart does not need any reasons. It needs no reasons because its nature is to love. Its nature is to release that primal essence of the universe, to release the vibration of God. That's what it does, of God, right? So the key to the art of loving then is to create more space in your heart for the releasing of this energy, for the releasing of love. And to release, that means we got to remove all the blocks within the heart, all those fears and things that we say are emotional things, but they're really head trips, that with stories we've told ourselves. So we've got to create space to release. And the only thing that I can think of, the one thing that I can think of that helps create space in the heart is the practice of, what do you think it would be? Who? That's good. That's a good one. Gratitude. Forgiveness. How about some forgiveness? You want to create some space, because everything else, you see, is forgiveness. Because if you can just get in the habit, forgive everything, whatever, just forgive it. Everything, forgive everything. Because if you can get in the habit of forgiving, to forgive is to let go, to give truth for, it creates space. It's not holding on. The moment we're holding on, we're usually holding on to hurt. What blocks us is we're holding on to hurt. We're holding on to our slights. Look what they did. Look what they said. We're holding on to our judgments. We're holding on to all of these things, and that is creating a blockage. They will even tell you that physically when people have a heart attack, you know what? You need to let go of all the stress, all the things that the negativity, the negative vibrations. Let it all go. Remember, Dr. Martin Luther King said, forgiveness is not an occasional act, but it is a permanent state of mind. He's right. We've got to get into that mindset of, I let everything go. I let everything go. So the key is, we've been talking about how we transform things. You experience it, and then you do what? Let it go. Experience it and let it go. If it's happened, it happened. It's gone. That's what this is. It's gone, as they say. It's over. It's done. You've experienced it. Now you must release it. This is the habit that will be transformative for you, to feel it and to let it go. Practice releasing every single night. Develop a powerful forgiveness prayer for yourself. Read it every night. Write one for yourself. Forgive everything in life. All the things you didn't think you got or needed or wanted, and everybody that you thought. Just forgive, release, release. And the thing I want you to recognize is that forgiveness is a two-sided coin. So while you want to forgive those who you think have harmed you, you need to forgive who you think you have harmed. You think people have offended you, you need to forgive. Where were you in the process? I forgive myself for thinking you offended me. Right? It's keeping me open. Nobody's at fault. Nobody's to blame. Everybody's innocent. Let me just make everybody okay. I'm okay. Every situation has two sides to it. So when you begin to see your part, you begin to release and let go. And once you begin to release and let go, you create that space for transformation to take place. And God's grace then begins to automatically draw to you that which is yours. Love begins to flow, and it's like a magnet. It will magnetize and draw to you the good that you seek and desire, because it will draw to you God in expression. So remember that you are a radiating center of God's infinite love. Just keep releasing it and be transformed. Get out of your head and into your heart. Blessings. 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 Blessings.